Hello, as of yesterday, Lee and I have been living on the sailboat for over 100 days.
I didn't believe it when she told me. I mean, it's hard to believe that 100 days have gone by already, and we just feel so blessed for what we've experienced so far.
Yes, many days we stood in all of the clear water and the beautiful beaches and the marine life, but we thought maybe we should share with you more of the real story of what it's like living on the boat as we explore the Bahamas.
You know, it's yeah, these videos that we've been putting out are, you know, they're the best times. The reality is that when things are going wrong or things are bad, we don't grab the camera. So it's yeah. So we just thought maybe we should just share a little bit more broadly. We don't have film of it. Okay, we're just going to sit here and talk a little bit. But yeah, we'll just share a little bit about that.
And when Lee said that we don't have camera moments of it, it's usually because the conditions are too rough, and the motion would probably make most everyone sick if I would put it on the video.
Well, yeah, there's those times.
That's times too.
Yeah, those times. And it's just, we just try, you know, it's, when things are tough, that's not when you're grabbing the camera.
No,
you know, you're grabbing the camera when things are like, you know, oh, isn't that beautiful? You know, let's get a picture of it, you know, and it's yeah.
So what is it like living on a sailboat with your spouse?
Oh, the big question first. Okay, there we go. You know, it's been wonderful.
It's interesting. Lee and I, we both agree, it's great when you can travel and be with your best friend that's also your spouse. So that's really helped. But every day, it seems like people ask us, what do you do on the boat? What do you do on the boat? Mm-hmm. Well, the biggest thing is this boat is our home, and we have to be constantly thinking about what our needs are and how to meet our needs.
Yes. So, well, let's talk about a couple of those things. You want to talk about food? Or?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. So food, as you may have seen in previous videos, we provisioned, we planned, and that's great, and we're doing well with that. But as we visit the different islands, different places, we like to get fresh fruit and vegetables and bread and milk and eggs. So we've done very well, but it's still a concern. We're always looking, you know, where can we get food next?
We don't have a huge pantry of items like we have at home, you know, so there's lots of options. There's fewer options here. So we've eaten macaroni and cheese.
Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, yeah. One of my favorites, I'm sorry. But, we've eaten that a few times when we just didn't know what else to do, so we just ate that.
Yep.
You know, we also have these protein shakes, right? You know, where we supplement with that, mainly just because it's simple, and if it's hot, having a you know, frozen
cold drink really helps.
Drink is nice, you know, and that. So it's just easy. It's just easy to just.
But what about the water? I think we went over how we make water.
Yep.
But again, water is a concern, right, Lee?
Right. So how much water do we have? We check that all the time. How much water do we have? When, and then planning ahead for when we're going to make water. Okay, we're going to make water in 2 days. Okay, where are we going to be when we have to make that water? All those things are things that we're you know, thinking about all the time, and it's just yeah, water's always a concern, but we're very fortunate that we have a water maker.
Right.
Okay. And generally right now, we figure that we can go almost a week. Right. With, you know, between making water. Okay. And that's really good. A lot of other people we talk to, they say, wow, that's really good. So.
And that's with 2 people on the boat. So what are some of the other ongoing needs, Lee, besides food and water?
Well, there's power, and we did talk about our solar panels before. But we have to monitor the power usage. You know, power is a daily thing we have to calculate because our refrigerator and freezer just suck up power. They're not efficient at all. That's one thing I think would be good to work on, even in the Chesapeake Bay, to have better efficiency in the fridge and freezer. Yeah, so we're monitoring that all the time. We have a generator as a backup and our solar panels as our main source.
Right, right. And then the other thing is sewer.
Yeah, that one's always a touchy subject. In the Exumas and throughout the Bahamas, there's really not any pump out facilities. So what you do and what you're expected to do is to just go out into deep water and dump. And you have to do that once in a while, so we have to monitor how much of that we have.
Right, so we have holding tanks that we just hold the stuff and get rid of it when we're in deep water.
Yep.
Right. Unlike the Chesapeake, where they have stations, areas where you can pump it out.
Yes, all over the Chesapeake Bay.
Right, right. So, what's next? Oh, well,
Diesel.
Diesel.
Diesel is something that we really don't worry about too much because our boat sips diesel and then we have gasoline for our outboard engine on our dinghy. So those are things, but it hasn't been a problem so far.
Right, but we still have to be conscious of places we go into. Some do not sell diesel or gas, so we have to think ahead on those things. And then also, I almost forgot, propane.
Oh yes, that is. We use a lot of that.
propane.
That's our cooking supply.
Yes, yes.
And what we do there is, we have a propane tank. We got one of those fiberglass ones, so they don't weigh as much, and we reconfigured some things so we can have a regular 20-pound tank. We also have a backup 5-pound tank, which was our original. That is something we keep an eye on, but since we have a backup, we don't really worry about it too much because we can always switch it out and then make it a priority to get propane next time.
Right, in the Chesapeake Bay, that's not an issue. You can get propane many places, but here in the Bahamas is a different story. It's not as easy to get, or you have to plan.
We had a friend of ours run out of propane, and so he had to make a long passage in absolute terrible conditions in order to get propane for his family.
So they could cook.
Yeah.
So, okay, and then my favorite subject is laundry because it's something that
It's not mine.
No, it's something I like to get it done, but it's a pain to figure out where to get it done here. That has been kind of an issue. There are places to get it done. It's not cheap because of the water supply, but we have to sort of plan that too. And we just got done not doing laundry for like 3 weeks, so that was really wearing on me. But
if we have to, we have a bucket. We have 2 buckets.
Right,
one for washing, one for rinsing.
That's right. That's right. So
the old-fashioned way.
Next one is the internet or cell.
Yes, and that's important for me because I'm working as I go and need to make sure that we are, where can I connect and where can I, and making sure that we have, that I have ability to talk to clients, monitor what's happening in the markets, all that kind of stuff.
Yes. Next, the other thing that we are constantly thinking about and concerned about is safety.
So we're always checking the wind prediction. We have an app called Windy and also one called Predict Wind. We look at those to see what they're saying as far as the predictions for the future, and that will decide a lot of what we do, and it changes constantly. Now, wind direction is one thing, speed is another, right? And right now we're sitting out a storm of 20 knots, over 20 knots, and it's been this way for 5 or 6 days. It's been, or more actually, a solid week. So, so we're always monitoring that because we do not want to be caught with no wind protection, no island wind protection. So, and where we move and how we move is determined by the wind also.
Before we went on this trip, we were told by our cruiser friends that the Bahamas can be very windy. We were also told by our cruiser friends that it's best to wait till the end of January, beginning of February to cross to the Bahamas because of the wind. And we crossed on February 5th. So yeah, we were hoping that the winter winds would kind of subside by the time we got here, but we have experienced some pretty windy conditions.
Yes, yeah. So, and that has not been fun for Chris. That is one area that it bothers both of us. But what do you take for your?
I've taken quite a bit of Bonine
for seasickness.
For seasickness.
No, she's never gotten sick. She's never gotten sick, but it's preventative.
And the times that I need it most was, if we have crossings as we're underway, if it's very, very rough, so that I can be down below and prepare food and take care of us. I can't afford to get sick. But then the other time is if we're at anchor and we have a lot of wind and we're not protected, call it a blow, we cannot leave the boat because it's too rough to leave the boat. It's too rough to even get on the dinghy. And we don't want to leave the boat because we want to make sure that our anchor holds, but more importantly, we want to make sure other boats' anchors don't fail and go into us. So that's another, I guess, more of a safety thing, but also it just makes it, you have to plan and you have to watch.
Yes. And it has, one thing that's changed for us is that it has, we spend more time in a marina than we ever expected to, and that's mainly because of these blows that come through that can last 3, 4, and this time unusually 6, 7 days.
Yes.
So if a marina is available, we'll go into a marina so that we can get off the boat easily, so that we can be protected and not have to worry about just the anchor.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. After you spend a few days at anchor in high wind in rough conditions, you definitely want to get off the boat.
Off the boat. Yeah. So
for sanity,
you need a break.
You do. And the other thing we have to think about then, not only the wind direction and the speed and the weather, but also when we do enter an area where we want to anchor or go into land, is the current, where you have to constantly be thinking about the direction of the wind and then the direction of the current and how it moves around the islands where we want to anchor, and so we're constantly trying to figure that out too.
Yeah, this is all part of the navigation that you're constantly doing, constantly researching where we might go, what are possible places to drop an anchor that would be safe for us.
People ask all the time what it's like to be on this trip, and I tell people, well, it can be very challenging at times, but also just unbelievably beautiful, and we feel so blessed that we're able to see what we are seeing, and experience what we're experiencing. And we have felt God's hand on us so many instances where we had needs that needed to be met, or we were trying to figure out, do we go, do we stay, what do we do about the weather? And prayer has been huge for Lee and I with this. We pray together out loud several times a day, just to be connected, and we've just really felt God's providence, and prayers answered too. For instance, when we were coming down the coast and our in-furler broke, just the fact that we could find a marina in Florida at Fort Lauderdale was,
because there was
a miracle.
Only one available.
Only one. And then also, our radio getting fixed, and when we got to Fort Lauderdale, the family offering us the printer, that we needed a printer.
To print the COVID test results.
Yep, that we needed
so
to
that
get
Bahamas could have a printed copy, even though they had an electronic copy.
Yeah. So, and there were times here while we've been in the Bahamas that when we felt sometimes of isolation at Anchorage, or just, we've been away from home for a period of time, and being away from our loved ones has not been easy, but at least prayer can connect us. But during those times where we've sort of felt down or had a low day, and just prayed, we even miraculously had this family just come up in the dinghy and visit us, and it just totally brightened our day, and it was within 30 minutes after we prayed our need. So we've just have felt so blessed.
Yes. Yeah. This has been a time of growth for both of us. Just getting away from everything has been good and hard at the same time. I'm used to being more connected, and so it's been a bit of a process, but it's been good. It's been very good. Yeah.
So thank you for all your prayers and support as we continue our travels, and stay safe.